Day 62. I just got out of Human Services Committee, and it was kind of a tough one. So if I look tired, that's why. This morning in Business and Labor, we only heard one bill, but it was a big one. It's House Bill 600, and it puts gender bias into insurance rates. The argument, in part, was that all other 59 states do it, so we it must be wrong. It must be the right thing to do. We must be wrong for not doing it. And that, of course, all of the insurance companies came in as proponents. And again, I would just like to say, we set an example for the state in agreeing on a budget and passing it in record time. No other group of politicians in the country can do that. And we have an opportunity to do right by our employees by passing a pay plan and pension programs. And sometimes it is the right argument that other states are doing it, and we should too. I'm not sure that this is one of them. The opponents to the bill were Monica Lundin, the insurance commissioner, the governor's office, women voters, the Human Resources Division of our Business and Labor Department, the ACLU, AARP, the Associated Students of the University of Montana Billings, the Montana Nurses Association, and Montana People's Initiative Research Group. So, actual human beings on the side of good who are saying, hey, we have non-discrimination in our Constitution for a reason. Let's not go against that ever. So kind of a big bill. On the floor, we had a lot of people absent, and it was because Appropriations is meeting now to get through all of the bills before they need to be transmitted over to the Senate. So I think that that's going to happen a lot, and it makes our House floor session move kind of slowly because the clerks have to manually enter in all of the absentee votes. So the House Bill 582, the Board of Public Accountants, passed, but just barely, 52-48, which I just thought was interesting. And then Senate Bill 45 was a bill to count hydroelectric as energy as a renewable resource, but also put a retroactive date to include a dam that PP&L did improvements to back in 2010, I want to say. And I disagree with parts of it and agree with parts of it. It passed through the Senate almost unanimously. I think 4 or 5 people voted against it, and their Labor supported it for no real good reason. And it is kind of a giveaway to an energy company. It was tough for me because I do think the governor is going to mandatory veto out the part that I don't like, which is the retroactive date. I do agree that water should be counted as a renewable resource. My senator's name was on it as the sole sponsor of the bill, and I do see that he has a bigger plan for this and several other bills that he's working on. So I know that some people that I really respect and admire and trust will be upset that I voted for that bill, but I, in the end, feel like I had a good enough reason to do it. Senate Bill 128 was the bill that allows employers to cut their employees' hours by 20% and then socialize the costs out to other business owners when it's time to pay the unemployment benefits. And the Chuck Hunter said the word socialize twice on the House floor, which I thought would swing a couple of Republican votes our way. But nope, they voted to socialize cost to all businesses. So that passed. And then in Human Services this afternoon, we heard 3 bills. One was House Bill 601, which would require pulse oximetry for newborns. Pulse oximetry is used. It's a really simple test. You literally use an electrode. That sounds scary, but it's just a wire to measure heartbeats. And it tests for congenital heart defects, and it was only going to cost $5,000, which is literally nothing. Like one person could probably donate that to the state to pay for it, and to test every single newborn who's born in the state for this for congenital heart defects. And the statistics, the scientific studies that have been done clearly show that based on the number of babies who are born every year in Montana, we would be able to diagnose on the day of their birth 80 newborns who have congenital heart defects. And out of those, 24 of them would be critical cases. And so I was kind of astounded, actually, when this bill was tabled in committee. I know, right? Are you thinking, like, why is she still surprised? Why does she still maintain hope for humanity? I don't know. I'm just always surprised. I guess I'm the eternal optimist. Like, oh, here's one they can't vote against. No. House Bill 602 provides for crisis intervention for teenagers, and it cost $150,000, which is a little bit more significant. But remember that these are people who just gave millions and millions of dollars to out-of-state corporations and called it permanent tax relief. And they will not spend $150,000 to provide for crisis intervention for teenagers who are going to kill themselves, or they're going to kill somebody else and they can't go home and their parents cannot deal with it. I mean, again, another just no-brainer bill. I knew this one was going to die because it had $150,000 attached to it, but I mean, you're going to pass gun bills that allow teenagers to have guns wherever they are, and you don't have to get checked for a concealed carry, and we're not going to check your mental stability, and we're also not going to provide any intervention for a teenager. Helena High School has had 2 or 3 suicides this year. But then we did pass a bill. We passed House Bill 604, which is a bill that mandates that the state put together a study team to study Medicaid expansion. The bill's 2 years late because Medicaid expansion study team should have been put together in the last session. We know what we need to know about Medicaid expansion, and what's going to happen is on Monday, we're going to hear Medicaid expansion in Human Services at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to listen to everyone who says it's a good idea, that we're going to do executive action on it, and when they vote no for Medicaid expansion, they're going to vote no because we passed a bill saying we should study it further. I'm a freshman, and I have been to hours and hours and hours of training by all kinds of policy institutes and research groups saying exactly what impact this has on the state and how much it's going to cost us individually and as a state. And trust me, this is an effort to delay and give cover for Medicaid expansion. But that passed. The bills for human beings did not pass, but this one did. I'm glad I get to go home tomorrow.